Big cap, Don Marino, heavy sombrero. He lack knowledge, I bet he a scarecrow. Something deadly a Edo. If it ring, get low, rider, and he go rap.
But we was never friends. Show up to Harlem looking for your crib. You better let me in. Masked up, gloves on. I work in medicine. Show up to Deluxe apartment in disguise like the Jeffersons.
So you got to get shot with the cannon. I gotta do you, send a shot into you. This is Black Love, Brown Pride. Shaka Zulu meets Montezuma. It wouldn't be.
Hello. Welcome to the Speaker and Language Show. And today we have another special guest, the bar guy, Danny Myers. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me, family. Appreciate you.
No problem. Let's just jump into it, man. When I think about every battler, right? Every battler that I've interviewed and every battler that I've seen, they talk about early on, like the people that influenced them, both in battle rap and hip hop in general. So I wanted to ask you, just to start off, who are some of the battlers and just rappers in general that influence your style in battle rap?
Well, no battler influenced me, none. You know, I did like seeing Loaded Lux in the versus Midwest Miles. So he the one, him and Daylight are the ones that really showed me it's okay to like really rap at a high level in battle rap. So, but as far as influence, my influences came from Razzcast, Chino XL, Redman, Coogee Rap, Big Pun, Big L, all the the lyricists, Rakim, obviously. Let me see who else that I like Crooked Eye. Yeah, but I'm really a mix of like Raz, Chino, Redman.
Okay. So it's a lot of the people outside of battle rap that influence your style and West Coast oriented to a degree or whatever. And I can see it because I feel like you're epitome of the essence of just hip hop in general. Like not just because you know there as time progressed, which is the beauty of battle rap, right? Battle rap has become its own industry. So as time progressed, like there's been a slight divide between like the cloth of hip hop and battle rap to a degree. And I feel like you're one of the few that kind of like mold it all together and then keep that fabric together. So that's dope.
Absolutely. Yeah. I was like influenced by just hip hop, you know what I'm saying? You know, I always, you know, I think the battle rap part of hip hop was always there from the start as well. When you think about LL and, you know, Modi, Shan, they was always talking about how they're better than everybody and how their rhymes are doper and fresher. My rhymes is fresher than yours. That's where it always was built in. Like the competitive part of hip hop was there since its birth. So me listening to those early records and being influenced by them, it made me feel like if I'm gonna rap, then I need to be better than everybody. And I don't want to just be another rapper. I want to be the best rapper. And so that's how I've always lived.
My next question that I got for you, you know, when I think of like early Danny Myers, I think of AHAT. Like I know AHAT was a staple in the culture. And another question I want to ask you, because you've been around forever, what are some of your favorite AHAT moments? I remember like one of the major shots that you were given at AHAT was like John came down and gave you a battle. What are some of your other favorite moments in AHAT?
Me battling P Money and Ratchet same night, two battles same night, and I whooped on Ratchet so bad that they had to stop the battle. They stopped the fight. Like like OD came, grabbed me off of him. It was crazy. So that's one of my favorite moments. So y'all go check that out if you haven't seen it. Danny Myers versus Ratchet. Shout out to OD, AHAT, everybody, Domes, Donnie Minutes, Fats, Free Fats. So yeah, that was my favorite moment, them stopping the battle.
Another question I have pertaining to like the West Coast in general, right? Because I feel like there are battles where that cement your legacy, and there's battles that define your legacy. One for me, for you, is easily you versus Nitty the first time around. If I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, right? That your KOTD debut?
Damn.
I feel like that was your KOTD debut.
It was. Damn,
So-
that's crazy.
So walk me
Damn.
through.
I didn't even realize that.
So walk me through, one, the feeling of like being on KOTD for the first time, right? The backstory behind you going against Nitty, and then just how you felt after the battle ended after that.
Man, so I was doing my thing and I had Aspect One inbox me like, yo, do you want to be on Battle of the Bay coming up? And I was like, wait. And I'm looking at all the names on the card. I'm like, yo, the Disaster's gonna be there, and this person. And I'm like, wow, like I'm on a card with all these names. I'm still fresh in the battle rap culture. I'm not nobody. I'm just Danny Myers, doing his thing in Vegas. But then he goes, yeah, man, so I got this guy named Rum Nitty. He's kind of dope. We think that'll be a good battle. So, I never heard of Nitty ever. So I YouTubed Rum Nitty battle, and the first one I saw was Rum Nitty versus Conscious Pilot. So even though Nitty choked and lost the battle, I saw like, yo, this dude got bars. So I knew like, all right, I gotta have bars for him. I gotta have bars. That's it. I gotta punch. I wasn't, cause I never feared no battle rapper ever. Like I never felt like somebody could beat me. I never ever, but I just felt like, yo, this is gonna be real competition. I remember that part. Like, okay, so coming up with the rounds, and while I was at work, I'm at work, working at the Greyhound at the time. So I'm just writing all these raps at work, cleaning buses and parking buses and, fueling buses, doing luggage, all that shit, just rapping these Rum Nitty rounds, just thinking like, yo, I'm about to be on a card with all these legends. Like, that's the first time I met Disaster. First time I met Charlie Clips. Yeah, I met all these famous battle rappers, man. These guys were like stars to me. They still are. Even still to this day, when I see them, when we hang out, they're stars to me. I'm always felt like I was just a fan that rapped. I never felt like a battle rapper. The battle itself, Rum Nitty walks in the building, his eyes are bloodshot red. He's not talking to nobody. He's got this hoodie on. I'm trying to introduce myself as I see him walking in. I'm like, oh, that's him. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, that's Rum Nitty. I'm like, yo, Danny, bro, we about to have a good battle. Now he just kept walking. That nigga just kept walking like he ain't say shit to me. I was like, oh, he on that type of time. I felt the vibe. Like it was like this nigga's like, fuck this nigga, I don't give a fuck about him. So damn, man, this is why. Even there was a moment when I was doing something and I hit his chain. He said, don't touch my chain. And it was an accident.
Right,
my bad. It ain't like that. But once we broke the ice and we started clapping fives and shaking hands, we're reacting to each other's bars, it kind of broke the ice. And that's why we did that. People don't even realize, they don't know it was real tension in the room prior to that. Then it hits me like, yo, Disaster was there, Daylight was there, Lush One, and all these legends in the game was there. And our battle was a day one battle. It was supposed to go on a whole separate channel, but the battle was so crazy they put it on the actual main channel. And I remember my man Nakia Osborne, he paid King of the Dot to drop that battle. Whatever day it dropped, it wasn't supposed to drop that day. It was supposed to drop later. He paid them money to, hey, y'all need to drop this now. And they dropped it. So and then from there, me and Nitty, I think King of the Dot called him right back, and he went to think maybe he went to Canada. I don't know. He battled Tycoon Tax.
Yeah, I think it was on a Blackout. Yeah.
And I just kept doing my thing all over all these different leagues, and we kind of was cemented after that.
Another battle that was, in my opinion, another transformative battle in your career is you versus Verb. Which is crazy because that's like that's like very early on in your career, 2014, because you had plenty of other great battles after that. But I specifically remember that battle, and you went on record saying that like this is like Danielson versus Mr. Miyagi, like a guy that you looked up to in terms of rapping style and stuff like that. The question I wanted to ask you, right? I feel like that battle to a degree mirrors you versus Twork, because you also went on record saying that like you felt like Twork was a miniature version of you to a degree in terms of like who's this guy yelling, having this all high energy. I did it first. You know what I'm saying? Right.
So
I wanted to ask you particularly. I kind of know the answer, but I just wanted to throw it out there. Which battle was a little bit more important? Was it the Verb battle or was it the Twork battle?
There's a Verb. It's a Verb battle, hands down. Hands down. Like this guy at that time was already cemented as a legend.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not saying that Twork, when I battled Twork, you know, he wasn't a legend already, but Verb is Verb. You know what I'm saying? Like some names don't get any bigger than that. You know what I mean? So this is like the St. Louis, and what made it even more important to me is that he was the first battle rapper that was at a high level that spoke of me like publicly. Verb was tweeting people like, yo, I don't know if y'all watch this dude named Danny Myers from AHAT, but y'all need to pay attention to him. And then he tweeted me. He was like, yo, Danny, keep doing what you're doing, get your money. And then he gives me a shot. And then in the battle, in the third round, he says, like, I'm passing you the torch. Like, this is just you got it now. But Verb is really one of the best that ever did this shit ever. And it's in terms of writing, the pen, his fearlessness, he's really that man for real. So for him to battle me, it was like, damn, like this is where I really gotta test my writing skills versus this man right here. Cause I think that was like the first time I felt like this is somebody who's at the level I'm at, writing wise. And it wasn't just battling his pen, it was also, it's him, it's Verb, it's his aura, it's his fan base, it's everything that comes with those superstar dudes, you know what I'm saying? Because when you battle them, it's more than just your raps versus their raps.
All it takes is for Verb to say 3-minute rounds, they ain't booked me for a long time. After the preview at the Beef Brew, 3D2. So it's right. So
you know what? Yeah. So within that, and there's nothing you can do.
Right.
Like you gotta think, Calico's going crazy, Daylight's on the ground, having spasms and shit. The whole crowd. I'm like, yo, like I'm going crazy. It was just a moment. Give that man his moment. You can't sit there and act like it wasn't fire. Like I couldn't just sit there with the stale face, like, you know. And then after that, you'd have like Pat Stay doing it for me. Pat Stay would always say, yo, Danny's one of the best. And I want to battle Danny Myers personally. Like, and he battled me. So that's why I come outside and give all these up-and-comers a shot, because I remember when I was on my way up and I just wanted an opportunity and these guys gave me that. So I feel like, okay, I'm gonna pass that moment down to these other guys that are on the come up. So that's kind of why, like certain guys like me and Shug and like JC, DNA, we kind of get into that gatekeeper category, because we really come outside for whoever y'all feel is on the come up. We'll give them an opportunity to shine. It's risky because they could win, they could beat you, but that's also part of being a battle rapper. Don't run from no smoke. Like some guys go about it differently. Like they pick and choose their battles strategically. A lot of these guys want to pick the ones they know they can win, or they feel like they have a high chance to win. But not everybody is gonna come outside and give opportunities to the newcomer. So shout out to Verb for doing that for me. Pat Stay did it. You know, that's why I do it.
It's kind of interesting that you mentioned like giving up and comers a shot because, well, one thing I just want to make a disclaimer. I don't like one thing that we should do is like stop making the term gatekeeper have a negative connotation. Because I feel like, as you mentioned, it's a dangerous thing to do because you're giving hungry up and comers the opportunity to go against you, knowing that you're already established.
Right.
So that's the first thing that I wanted to say. The second thing I wanted to say, a lot of the shots that you gave were not only on like big platforms, but it was also on people's home leagues, on smaller leagues too.
Yeah.
And one of the questions
I'm the GOAT of that.
right. And one of the questions I had, right? Let's do a little hip hop analogy here. Everybody, if you're a Nas fan, you know that at one point in time, Nas had something called the Lost Tapes, right? Stuff that was like really good, but maybe didn't make the album, whatever. So I'm going to compare that to your small league ventures. Can you give me about 4 or 5 of your favorite small league battles that you had the privilege of being in? Me personally, I Love You versus Mac Myron. I Love You versus Mr. Biscuit. That's a really good battle with Mr. Biscuit. Love You versus Saint Mike. Space Time and Continuum.
That's what I was about to say.
Now that's crazy.
Bankhead
in 2019 was crazy too.
Bankhead.
That's another one. And then even though I feel like Gates of the Garden is like it's on its way of becoming like one of those perennial ones. I mean, hell, it's a staple now. But like even you versus Don Marino was like really, really good to me. So
yeah, absolutely. Well, shit, you named them. You know, me and Bankhead, me and the Saint Mike, obviously one of our favorite. You know what I'm saying? You know, me, it's crazy because me and Quantum Physics, we battled on Iron Mouse Battle League.
I forgot about that for sure.
Yeah, shout out to AC Dutch. Shout out to Dutch. Everybody out there in Memphis, man. But that's one of my favorite small league battles is me and Quantum. Like, sure. Even though he like that's 2 names. Right. But it was a small league, small room feel. It was just like it wasn't like no major card or no big rollout for it. So that's one of my favorite ones. But of course, yeah, me and Saint Mike for sure. Me and Bankhead I'm going to Milwaukee. You know, that it was super cold that day. It was -16 outside.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I was like, yo, this is the coldest I've ever been. You know, I've lived in New York, I lived in Indiana, Detroit, but I've never really felt that type of cold before. Like the Midwest cold is a different level, and the Milwaukee cold is a whole nother. Like, I think between Minnesota and Milwaukee, these got to be like the coldest places in the United States. But going there in his house, you know what I'm saying? Same thing. St. Mike, King Corleone going down there to battle in Texas and on his league, battling Clone on his league. You know, I really going to Philly, battling Ines, Kaboom, News, Top Floor Lou, you know what I'm saying? All the Philly guys, Bill Collector. I battle all of them in Philly. Battling Rex in Harlem. Charlie Clips first time in Harlem, Swave in New York, K-Shine in New York. Yeah. You know, I'm really like the king of the pull-up game. Like, I'll come to where you at. Jada Nightwing in Seattle. Like,
great battle. Amazing battle.
I go everywhere and I battle them in their house. I don't really get many home games. You know what I'm saying? When you go take those road games, that's when you gonna find out what you're really made of. You know what I'm saying? That's when you find out, am I really built for this shit? For real. Anybody can be the man at their house. But when you go to somebody else's house, you will find out if you still that same dude.
Yeah. Another thing I want to touch on, right? Because it's just crazy. Because I guess when you have a career as long as yours, it's like you just have like circumstances like this that happen. But you were a part of one of the major battle rap groups back in the day called Writer's Block, right?
Yeah.
And now you're a part of another major group in EFB. Which is kind of crazy how that operates, because it's like Writer's Block. Even though it's slightly different, I do feel like you have a bunch of like bar heavy people in both groups.
Think about this. I know, right? Think about this, man. Me, and Nitty have been in 3 different groups together. We was in Writer's Block, then we was in LSC.
Yeah.
Now we're in EFB.
Right.
You know, and it's similar, like you said, it is some similarities with Writer's Block and EFB, because you got to think about it. Writer's Block was the theme is these are the best pens in the world. All these guys. You had Danger Zone, Chiller Jones, Daylight, Rum Nitty, Danny Myers, 40 Bars. You had who else? You had Oops.
Chef Trez was in there for a bit.
Chef Trez, yeah, you had, so, but now when you fast forward and you go to EFB, it says every fucking bar, meaning the bars stand out and you're doing these bars back to back. So basically it is similarities in terms of saying what the group means is we rap really good. You know what I'm saying? So when you look at Rum Nitty, Danny Myers, Geechee Gotti, you got Next, you got Riggs, you got all these different battlers that are just amazing with the pen.
Like a bunch of the people that were in Writer's Block, right, were highly esteemed, highly accomplished. In that time period, right, you had Danger Zone, who had an amazing 2015. You had a great 2015 as well. Right. Chiller Jones had a really good 2015. JC was doing like when he left URL. Yeah, like
Salute
he was.
You
know what I'm saying? Like
your shit.
Yeah, I mean, I got to because like I watched you guys, and then for me, I was always
that 2015 year, boy. You talk about what Danger was doing that year, what I was doing. Yeah, I definitely felt I got robbed out of Battle of the Year that year.
You went on like a rant about not making the top 10 or whatever.
I felt like I got robbed clearly 2015. Come on, man. I think that was the Rex, me and Rex. All them crazy
You and
battles.
Chilla was crazy.
Back to back.
You and Danger.
How did I not make the fucking panel? How did I not make the list at all? Like what is like this is why, man, that's a whole nother segment.
But we're gonna take a small intermission to kind of highlight that 2015 year, and we'll be right back to ask a couple more questions before we get into our last segment. So watch these clips really quick and we'll be right back.
See, nigga, I wig postal. I'm fucking up his name like when parents be using their kids' social. My kids. Well, bitch, I'ma find you. Shoot the hoe. Watch where your mother land like a trip to Rwanda. I'll carve worms into your chest. Then throw your body in a coffin. So when I say you're in grave danger, that's a triple entendre.
Bitch, nigga like you can get exposed. Real quick, I lift his soul. I'm in his bushes. Crouched down with the deuce like a prison pose. My nigga got the camcorder. Nigga. Shit like that.
Demons, damn right. We lock horns like rams fighting. I'm fast enough the kid like it. I select the hand strike him. Open palm like I'm slap boxing. This is when Bruce Lee was fighting Chuck Norris with the cat watching.
This one's pertaining to the West Coast once again. We know that the West Coast influence in battle rap has been here since the dawn of time. You could talk about like Ilmac, Thesaurus, Disaster, all those guys back in the day. My particular question that I had for you, since again you're a historian, and this is a loaded question, but I'm just curious as to what your take is. What are some of the biggest contributions the West Coast has given to battle rap?
Oh man, damn. WRC's Ilmac. How about that?
right.
Ilmac. Diz, Thesaurus, Awkwards. Oh my God, No Can Do. Freestyle Fellowship and Lamert Park. Danny Myers. The West Coast. Caustic. Jesus Christ, so many of the legends, man. It's so many to name. Yo, that was just my mission, honestly, because I felt like the West Coast had, we had so many amazing talents, but we didn't get the props that I felt we should have got. Because once the Smack DVD era started, the Blaze battles, shout out to, who else? The Fight Club, all those different things were going on over on the East Coast. And I feel like people look at the West as like, there's a bunch of like corny white guys that are rapping jokes, and they don't really got bars. They really don't have skills. So my whole thing was, no, the West Coast really can rap. That was my whole thing. So I just took it upon myself to like bring it to the forefront in terms of the pen, the lyricism, how creative we could be. It's crazy because me and Disaster was just talking about this the other day on Caffeine. We was talking about how he heard about some dude who could probably beat Eminem, some dude, the Source guy. He was like, yo, I was just hearing his name and he was just demolishing everybody. And I was walking up a hill one day and I saw him. It was crazy. He was telling me the story about, it was like a college battle night. They around this college, all the MCs would meet up and battle. But he was telling me about that, about how he first ever laid eyes on the Source, man. And so, yeah, man, the West Coast, the contributions are, they're incalculable. You can't really put a price, or you can't put like a limit on what the West brought back.
I brought up the question just because it's just like, I feel like the West Coast has always had a presence. The presence never went away, but I felt like it was brought to like even more prominence when you had the Geechee Gottis, the Rum Nitties, yourself taking over across multiple leagues. And I feel like everything from like, I want to record saying like from 2018 to like up, maybe still now, but like I think the real run was like 2018 up until like 2021, 2022. That was like the most I've seen like a cohort of West Coast people like have like the iron fist on battle rap. You had Geechee winning champion of the years back to back. You had you doing your thing. Disaster came back to KOTD and he was doing his thing. Ilmac was still thriving, you know what I'm saying? B-Dot was running 2020 battle rap, you know what I'm saying, with the COVID settings and stuff like that. Rum Nitty was being Rum Nitty, so it was just like,
Rum Nitty being Rum Nitty.
Exactly.
Right. And I feel like we've had it ever since. People always dispute that, but we got proof. I said the Ultimate Madness Championships, the West Coast won most of those. The West has 4 of the 6 Champion of the Year belts, and Geechee having 3, Rum Nitty having 1 of them. Yeah. The other 2 was Chilla Jones and O-Red.
Yeah.
This is 4 of the 6 by the West Coast. All the Ultimate Madness with Rum Nitty and Geechee had split 1.
Real name Brandon.
I think real name Brandon had 1. Though Coffee had 1. The Woody. We got the accolades to back this shit up. You know what I'm saying? Right. I don't know how much weight you put on those things, those things, but those are tangible pieces of evidence that you can say, hey, these guys are actually winning championship belts. These guys are winning trophies. They're winning the highest esteemed battler of the year. And there are these people from the West winning the tournaments, winning the champion of the year, winning woman of the year, having the best rappers, having the best. And I've always that was my goal from the very start. I always tell people it was never about Danny, it was about the West. I wanted to kick the doors open so these guys could get in and have a chance to shine. Yeah, so the West Coast is here, and I feel like a lot of people don't be wanting to admit it, but we're really one of the best regions, if not the best region, because I feel like we are the best region. All of the belts and the championships kind of back that up.
Inclusion, like even right now, I feel like we're seeing the dawn of the Maryland / DMV like revolution now. Like we're starting to see that. I think without those revolutions, we don't get those. We don't. The culture doesn't move forward without those. So that's why I think all of those regions and revolutions that happen are important. But back to you really quick. We mentioned 2015 before, right? But I can make the argument that you had 3 years better than 2015, in my opinion, right? You got 2019, you got 2021, and then you got the year after that in 2022. In your opinion, out of those 3 years I just mentioned, 2019, 2021, and 2022, what do you think was your personal best year?
2022. I think that was last year. I battled probably the most times I ever battled in 1 year. I went super crazy. All those years I have standout moments. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I had broke the caffeine record at one of those years, and that was before the real sick battle. I had broke the caffeine record in like rounds 1 in a row. It was like 12. I was just 30 and everybody before, and I was like clear champion of the year, front runner before the real sick battle. And so that's what really stopped me from getting champion of the year, was that one battle. It was that real sick meltdown. I was like, I fucked up so bad. And so, but had I beat real sick and went on to, you know, then beat Jay Nightwing and everybody else after that, I probably would have got champion of the year that year for sure. But last year, Jesus Christ, I've been going crazy. And it was crazy because I saw they put up a stat. Yo, Danny Myers has averaged a battle every 2 weeks for the last 5 years straight. And I didn't even know that. I was like, damn, I really, you know what I mean? I battled every 2 weeks for the last 5 years in a row.
And 9 to 5, and 9 to 5 terms, you're getting paid bi-weekly. You know what I'm saying? With you battling every 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, so I think that last year was probably my favorite year.
One thing I wanted to talk about, because in your recent development, sir, you released a diss track towards Loaded Lux, a guy that's like heavily revered for his foundational work in the culture and also pioneered penmanship. I went on record plenty of times on this channel and in spaces. In my opinion, one of the most impactful performances of all time is Loaded Lux versus Midwest Miles. Just what he able to do. He reset the standard for what penmanship is in battle rap, and the term a pen in battle rap. You faced a collection of pins in your career. B-Dot, JC, Chilla Jones, Danger Zone, QP, Rum Nitty,
all of them.
The list goes on and on, right?
Right.
Would you say, if you and Lux get locked in towards the end of this year, next year, whatever, would you say that Loaded Lux would be your hardest fight from a penmanship level? And you can be as honest as you want. Okay.
No. I battled B-Dot. You know what I'm saying? I've battled Nitty. I've twice. You know, I've battled All Red. Like, my thing is, damn, because I don't want to sound like a Lux hater. I got Lux bars tattooed on my arm somewhere around here. But anyway, bury me with my integrity. That comes from one of Lux's ciphers. Y'all know I think it was 0, whatever, one of them DVDs. But anyway, so I got Lux rhymes on my arm. You know, it was a line, bury me with my integrity. So I'm not a Lux hater by far. I'm a Lux fan, you know. But, you know, when you say when people say, yo, Lux is the god tier, he's the god, the rest of y'all are just mere mortals. It's like, but if he is, he would show that every time he come outside, especially given how you know, infrequent he battles. He don't battle that much. You know, if you come outside once a year, twice a year, then you should be amazing in those performances. I'm outside like every fucking, we was just talking about how much I'm outside. There's times I've battled 5 times in a month, 6 times in a month. So, and it's always great material. For Lux to have, you know, for his standard, subpar material versus, let's say, Geechee Gotti. That wasn't one of his best showings. He still had some nice lines. Of course, he's always gonna have nice lines. But scary material where it's like me and JC and Daylight are like, hey, now we better leave this nigga the fuck alone. He don't showcase that. You know, we'll talk about the Hot 97 freestyle, and I always bring that up because it's one of the greatest like displays of lyricism ever. He went crazy. My thing is, you can do this. Like, you showed us that you can go. So why in the battles you don't do this? So, you know, we can point out his third. We could point out his Calico battle, Hollow battle, and his Midwest Miles battle. Now after that, you were talking about Murder Mook on the Total Slaughter, talking about 14. The Arsenal battle, talking about the Sue Surf battle, you talking about Geeky Gotti battle, you talking about Charlie Clips battle. These aren't like God level, even a Verb battle, like these aren't God level showings where the rest of us are afraid of this. Like I don't see nothing scary. That's just, because I feel like I'm the best writer. Of course you're gonna have people say, oh no, Danny, because I fuck with JC. Oh no. Rum Nitty is the greatest. No, Daylight's fucking killing all of y'all. Like, this is arguments for a few of us to be the best writer in the world, man. But Lux, man.
And then with that question, because I had another question pertaining to that, because you and Chilla beat out Loso in 2021, 2022. You guys did a show where you guys did your top 10 pins of all time, right? Where, in your opinion, where does Lux rank all time in terms of all time pins?
Damn. Like right now, today?
Just all time. Because I'm considering all the recent transactions as well, too.
Damn, it might be like 6 or 7 or something like that to me. Yeah, for sure. When you say, is Lux a better writer than Daylight? Is he a better writer than B-Dot? Is he better than JC?
Is he better than Chilla Jones?
Better than Chilla. Better than Chilla. So it's just hard to just say, yeah, Lux is better than all of them. No, because they're the ones out here putting in the work. They're the ones that's doing this shit on a more consistent basis. And Lux is just living off of the aura and the legacy. When he does come outside, it's nothing game changing. Him and Hollow was game changing. So, like I said, out of 8 battles, how many battles he got? 14 battles, something like that. Like, there's probably like 3 stand out that are like, okay, that's a level we want to see you at all the time. Even when he did the 2-on-2, he showed flashes. I always bring that up because I want to give him his props. He showed flashes when he does the great hoodie back and standing in front of chest, 38 around a duct tape around the 38, banging like 808. Hole in the desert like quicksand. Now let that sink in. Like little shit like that is like, wow, we can't get at least a whole round of that from you one time or 3 rounds. You should be able to have 3 rounds of that if you're the best writer of all time. If you're the god, you should have that, especially considering that you be having 8 months to prep for one battle. If I had 8 months to prep for one person, do you know I would disintegrate a nigga's soul? I'm coming up with these bars on like 3 days prep, 4 days prep, a week prep. I don't get 30 days prep rarely no more. So if I'm able to come up with 3 crazy rounds, all new material plus rebuttals on top of that every fucking week, it shouldn't be hard for Lux to come up with 3 rounds in a year. So who's really the fucking GOAT out here? Who's really the God MC? This is what I'm saying. Lux is living off of it's the Wizard of Oz. I've been saying that forever. He's the Wizard of Oz. Like the whole land is just scared of the wizard. When you pull the curtain back, he's a regular man. That's all he is. He's regular. Geechee made him look regular. Did Lux look like the unbeatable God versus Geechee Gotti? Yes or no?
No.
Like I said, he is just gonna have to show us. When I say us, I'm talking about the pins, the Ilmax, the Dannies, the JCs, the Nitties, the Chillas, the old Reds. Like, you gotta make an example out of one of us, even if it's me. Make an example and show the world why you're revered as the greatest that ever did this, the greatest writer of ever, like the scariest guy to face. He ain't made no example out of nobody. Think about it.
He typically has style clashes. I went on record saying it, like the only time he faced like somewhat of a pin was a Verb, but in terms of like a perennial pin of this generation, he hasn't really right. I've always been interested to see what that looks like, because like it's different when you're battling somebody that, you know what I'm saying, is you know someone that's like of a high popularity, but you know that like they have a certain style, you have a certain style. But when we're specifically talking about like the element that we're talking about in terms of penmanship, it's very easy to see the difference when you're going to get somebody that like specialize in what you specialize in. So
specialize in what you specialize in. That's what the fuck we want to see. This is what we want to see. This is why. Because my thing is, you don't even gotta battle me. Battle Nitty. Fuck it. Don't battle me or Nitty. Battle Daylight. Just give us. Because we're fans. We're fans of this man, bro. Nobody hates Lux. Who hates Lux? We all love this man. Like, just because it's like, I feel like he's an underachiever. I feel like you're an underachiever. And that's crazy to say that. But my thing is, you've shown me better levels from yourself than what you've been showing us these few battles.
All right, now we're kind of in the home stretch of this legendary interview. Really enjoyed doing this thus far. I have a segment called...
appreciate you for having me.
No problem. I have a segment called The Rapper's Pentagon. What I do here is I take top 5 oriented questions directed towards the battler, and they have to give me 5 of that particular question. So the first one, who are 5 of your hardest opponents you have to prepare for?
All right, let me see. West Coast Dread. He's number 1. He's the toughest battle I ever had in my life to this day. Shout out to West Coast Dread. That's because I always said that because we both from South Central. That is like Superman fighting somebody else from Krypton. They got the same.
They're both for the same power. Yeah.
You got the same power, so it's like, yeah, it was tough. So Dread, B-Dot. Let me see. Probably Pat Stay. Rest in peace, Pat Stay. Number 3. He's just super unorthodox. Let me see. Difficult to prep for. Let me see. Who else? No, not Rex. Like, I honestly, all these outside of those names, everybody kind of, you know, I know I can beat everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of these shits are difficult. Let me see any of the women. No. Oh, you can say Frack. But even then, with the Frack battle, I knew what to do. I just didn't execute it. I didn't execute it, but I knew what to do with Frack. But I'm gonna put Frack on there because Frack, these guys are tough. Let me see. Was it A-War? No. Maybe Trez. Maybe Trez.
Volume 4.
Yeah. Trez, because it was my little brother. So I was like, damn, how do I approach this battle? Well, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Second one. 5 of your personal favorite rounds you constructed.
5 personal favorite round. Okay. All right, let's do that. Let's go with 3rd round for quantum physics. Because it all that time travel, the time machine thing was set up. It was set up throughout, and then so that round. 3rd round versus drugs. Who am I? Broke down what drugs really is. That's one of them. 1st round for St. Mike. 1st round for St. Mike for sure. Probably my 2nd round for Disaster. 2nd or 3rd, either one. Like that shit was just high level rapping. Let me see. You know what? I like my 3rd round versus Rum Nitty in the rematch, and it's super slept on. Nobody really brings that round up. It was super lyrical.
You did something different. You did do something different. Some of my favorites that I think of obviously your 1st versus Tay Rock is just insane. I think of your 3rd. I think of your 3rd versus Twork as well. The whole concept of like you ever contributed so much work but other person reaps the benefits. We are the parallel universe. As I put down the groundwork for it. That was a great round to me. So I love that round that you have for Twork as well.
Yeah. Thank you, man.
Another question, the third one. And I usually do this because I love when battlers show transparency, and we live in a culture where battlers won't admit when someone got the best of them. But I know you're transparent enough to do it. 5 of the most damaging losses you took in your career, the ones that really affected you, like really.
Number 1 is real sick.
Right.
No, I don't think I got 5. Well, I'll say this. Number 1 is real sick. Worst loss I ever took in my life. Yeah, because that was my first gnome. That was my champion of the year run. I ain't even rapped my 3rd. Fucked up my whole rhyme scheme in the first round. That was one of the greatest rhyme schemes of all time in the history of battle rap, and I fucked it up. That's what really threw me off. So that one for sure. Like I said, like Pass, because Pass, that was supposed to be like that's my return to what was that? What was the card? Because we did the first
battle,
one.
That was I want to say that was one of the town businesses.
Town business. So town business too, me and Pass. So lose choking versus Pass. Let me see who else choked the word just really fucked me over outside of the real sick battle.
I hate to be the guy, but Stewie Newton was also one that was in that time period.
Yeah, because that was the first time it ever happened. That was the first time I choked all 3 rounds. So that was that. And you know what's so crazy, man? I'm such a real guy, and when you talk about transparency, they was like, yo, I ain't even gonna drop this. Shout out to KG. KG was like, yo, this shit ain't, bro. We can't drop this. Like, I said, no, drop it. Don't take this moment away from Stewie.
Right.
Like, and I'm like one of the dudes that asked for my battle to be dropped, knowing I choked all 3 rounds. Normally somebody be like, hell yeah, don't never put that shit out. Don't show the world that shit. Like, nah, don't take that from Stewie. So Stewie Newton, Pass, real sick. Let me see where else. Frack, you say Frack. Yeah, I mean, all the battles where I choked, man. Like any other, like outside of the chokes, there's really no battle that I'm gonna just straight up say, yeah, I definitely feel like he beat me. Never felt that way, ever. Never felt like I was beat, like just bar for bar, line for line. Now, if you like somebody's strategy more, if you like somebody's angle more, okay, that's more subjective and that's your opinion. So I cannot argue you with that. I won't even argue the battler himself. Most of the time, like me and Easy go back and forth about our battle to this day, you know what I'm saying? And he's gonna say, I beat Danny Myers. I'm like, I beat you. What the fuck are you talking about?
How did you feel about the Holmesy battle? Because I always felt like you and Holmesy was extremely debatable battle, but I know you probably feel like you clearly got that one.
Put that in the top 5. Dog.
Okay, all right.
Because I felt like I was clearly robbed, bro. I to this day I would never live that down. Shout out to Holmesy, but I will say this. He did a job of tricking the judges. He did it so masterfully because he told them throughout the battle, Danny's a one-trick pony, he's one-dimensional. All he do is punch. In that whole battle, I'm not even punching. I'm doing metaphors, entendres. I'm doing all kind of shit besides punching. In that same battle, the same battle he says I only can punch, I wasn't even punching. I don't know. I love these lists though.
Yeah.
I love the list.
Yeah. Now we're to the second to the last one before we get into your accomplishments. This is easy for you because I know you have a lot of great battles, but there's battles that stick with you for legacy purposes. Your top 5 career-defining performances.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go. Rum Nitty, Rex, B-Dot. Let me see it. Career-defining battle. After those 3.
Yeah, like you ever been on Apple Music and they show, like, when you click on an artist, they show the essentials of like that artist, like certain albums you have to listen to, certain things you have to like that's what I'm referring to in terms of career defining.
Watch me versus Chilla. Watch me versus Chilla. Because it was like, this is the battle of the 2 greatest writers in the world. Yeah. Yo, I felt like that was Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris. That's why I
made that bar. Crazy bar. Crazy bar.
And with the Bruce Lee versus Chuck Norris with the cat watching. You know, like, because that's how serious I took Chilla, man.
Yeah.
Let me see. So yeah, that's 4. So it's Rex. Then Nitty, Rex, B. Chilla. I'm talking about defining. Let me see. Well, you could go Rock. Say Rock. Say Rock. Because it just kind of. I don't know if people didn't feel like I could beat him or I couldn't beat like these superstar guys. And I've been beating these type of guys. Like, I'm just not paying attention. But, it was just the backstory. It was long. It was the end of crazy face off the day before and all that shit. So, yeah, I'm going to say the Tay-Rock battle.
Yeah. And that was what? 6 years in the making, 7 years in the making since you called him out before. But, like, I vividly remember your call out in the Young Cannon battle. Like, you're gonna see me throw rock against the window, like I'm trying not to compare stuff. So I remember. So
you're a historian, So it came to fruition.
Yeah,
think about that. That's crazy. I said that line in versus Young Cannon, and then all them years later, you see me get Tay-Rock the fuck out of there. That's crazy.
And then the last question pertaining to the rappers Pentagon. 5 of your favorite battles you were involved in.
Okay, well, I always think back to me in Danger Zone, man. Like, that's still one of my favorite battles I ever did, because he was incredible.
Yeah,
it was like a stalemate for real. I still feel like I beat Danger Zone for sure, but that was one of my favorite battles I've ever been in. Me and B-Dot. I mean, Razzcazz was there. Come on, man. What the fuck? Like, I got my style from Razzcazz, and all these years later, here he is at one of my battles. That's crazy. So, let me see who else. The O-Red battle, because it was just a personal grudge. It was a personal gripe. Like, I wanted to really get him out of there. I was mad at O-Red for years. He was talking crazy, and Angry Fan, who was my homeboy, was always telling me like, Danny, I fuck with you, man, but listen, man, you can't beat O-Red, bro.
Wow.
Like, you leave O-Red alone. He's dangerous. I'm like, bro, I'm dangerous. What the fuck? All these niggas that you think is the best, I have a grudge against them, because I'm like I was telling you earlier, I got the competitive nature. I was been doing this since 1990. Like, in terms of learning how competitive hip hop is. So I'm just bred from that, right? So if you tell me somebody's the best or he's better than me, I'm like, go get him, and I'm gonna show you that he's not. This is why this Lux battle is like so important for me. Let me see what battle was like super like fun and important. Like, we had a Rum Nitty battle for sure. The first one. Yeah. Like you pretty much got them all. You know what I mean? Like, you named them all.
And then real quick before we get into the last segment, because like I said, I love the moment that you guys had. Can you break down just like the preparation process with you and Tink when you guys did that 2-on-2? Because I do remember like Tink came back from jail, you know, and then he went into the tournament, you know what I'm saying? You faced him in the tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
And then after that, he was still trying to find his footing or whatever. But I know that particular night, you guys were actually the underdog in that battle, because he was like, oh, they don't have chemistry, like they don't even whatever. And people were like, we don't even know how Tink is gonna do. And then, lo and behold, no offense to the rest of you guys, I feel like Tink took over that night. Like, you gave him the alley oop to take over in that battle. So, how did that preparation situation come down?
Yeah, but the thing is, me and Tink are close friends. He's always at my house. He's always with my kids. We're super close. So the chemistry is already there. People didn't know that, though. Yeah. Like, me and Tink been cool since I met him. Throughout the whole time he was in prison. Like, that's my man. Like, so it was just like, I'm rapping with my homeboy, and it's like, all right, bro, you have to shine in this battle. Fuck Danny Meyer. This ain't about me. It's about you. Like, you the one that needs to get your name back good in this culture. So the preparation, honestly, it was actually simple as hell. This man was in North Carolina. He was in Delaware. I was in LA. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't even get to be together. Like, we was just on the phone. And I tell him, look, man, look, we can get these rounds done in like 3 days. He's like, what? Come on, you sure? I'm like, bro, trust me, we can do it in 3 days. We did it in 3 days. We practiced for a couple hours the night before.
I think the reason why like I enjoy like the recent years of Danny Myers because I had the privilege of seeing you live. So like the first time I saw you, no BS, was you versus Sick. I actually shook your hand while you was trying to like when you was in a back lock trying to like go over your bars, whatever. And I shook your hand, and I could see in your eye that you was trying to lock in with him. So I wasn't trying to do
trying to get it, yeah.
But after that, I had the privilege of seeing you on Civil War, seeing you go against Ace on Traffic. You know what I'm saying? And then I got a chance to see you go against in 2022. I got a chance to see you go against Nunna, see you go against Fonz and whatnot. I shook your hand after the Fonz battle, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So. But those moments like that,
right?
Yeah. So those moments like that is kind of crazy because it's just like you never know what things are going on before they hit that stage. You just know what happens when they hit that stage. We're gonna break down some of your accomplishments, and then I'm gonna lead you off with one last question before we head out. Danny Myers, okay, 4-time Cody appearance, right? Top 5 puncher of all time on our list, top 10 pin of all time. We also had top 15 RBE battles of all time with you and Chilla Jones and you and Pat Stay. You got both of those battles when it was in the top 15 of RBE battles. Top 15 KOTD battle of all time with Rum Nitty. That goes without saying. You have the number 3. You have the number 3 app record, and you also have number 5 in reactions on the URL app. You have 3 Gnome appearances, and in my opinion, you have the best collection of battles in the Traffic series. You were also a part of BET's top 50 battlers of all time, and your resume includes, I'm not gonna do the whole thing, but I'm just highlighting some stuff. O-Red, Hollow the Don, Chef Trez, Mike P, Twork, Easy the Block Captain, Ill Will, Arsenal, Shotgun Suge, Tay-Rock, Charlie Clips, Sharon, Rum Nitty, Av, Cortez, John the Don, Big T, E-Ness, Bill Collector, B Magic, Big K, JC, B Dot, Chilla Jones, A Verb, Disaster, Pat Stay, T-Rex, K Shine, Geechee Gotti, DNA, A Ward, and Pass/Passwords. And the beauty of all this is that you've battled 27 of the 50 people that made that BET all-time list. You are also in the top 5 all-time in total battles.
Like top 5 of like battles of all time.
Yeah,
like the most battles.
Yeah.
Dre Dennis beating everybody.
Yeah. Now Dre Dennis is number 1, but you're in the top 5, and then when I combine your battles with your URL app battles, you're pretty much 4. So my question to you, with all this stated, what does Danny Myers want to accomplish when it's all said and done? Because I can see you battling till like you're 50 plus years old, which is crazy to say. But somebody
else was saying that the other day. It's like, Danny, you're gonna be battling at 50 and 60, man. I can see you doing it. Actually, that was Disaster saying that.
Yeah,
he just said that 2 days ago. What do I want to accomplish? Well, I think I did it already, honestly, because again, it never was about Danny Myers. It was about opening the doors for the West Coast. Like, and so when I see, RX and Emerson Kennedy, rest in peace, Young B, the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, all these guys, Yak Ripper, shout out to Diesel and Shy Dog and Billy Boondocks and the whole West Coast. Like, I'm not responsible for these guys' talent. But in terms of seeing the West in a different light than what it was seen from the grind time days, where we're at now, I really do feel responsible for that. Like, I was the one that kicked them doors open, and like I kept shouting out the West and giving these guys these shots. You know what I'm saying? Because Geechee, when he was on his way up, I battled him. Coffee Brown first big battle was Danny Myers.
Yeah.
Emerson Kennedy's first name battle was Danny Myers. You know what I'm saying? Like, I really gave all these people their first looks, and it was not to kill them. It was to, hey, y'all need to pay attention to this person that I'm battling. I'm battling this person for a reason. I battled Young B. I battled, man. So I've accomplished what I wanted to accomplish. Now, in terms of personal goals, you know, kicking Lux ass, probably the last, one of the last ones. You know, I still got to battle Ilmac, the Saurus, Marv 1, Head Ice. Those are like some of the last few battles that I personally want to do. Bucket list battles before it's all said and done. So I'm definitely gonna get those done. But in terms of me and Lux, like the ultimate, or even me versus Daylight, like, you know, I'm cool with that as well. Like, but you know, kicking Lux ass, that's when you can kind of ride off into the sunset and be like, all right, I did what I had to do. I told y'all I was the GOAT.